Howdy ho! This is EdwinMols coming at with Game 3. Every time I start a video, I always try to think of some other way that I can say
howdy ho.
Heidi ho.
Oh, you said Heidi ho?
I said Heidi ho.
Okay,
anyway, regardless, it was lame.
I'm Chile.
Chile here brings up a good point. That I say lame things.
Yeah. It'll affect his playstyle.
Yep. This is live. I'm casting and playing at the same time.
That's not true.
That's actually a lie. We have York coming out for EdwinMols against Hirishin. This is Game 3 of Round 3 for the series between these players. This is
winner take all.
This is winner take. Well, winner
take this game.
Winner take this match. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that one. The first game we had EdwinMols' Cho'Gath defeating Hirishin's Talon. Second game we had Hirishin's Caitlyn beating EdwinMols' what is it? Tristana? There we go. And now we have York versus Kale. Kale coming out with Exhaust Ignite and York with Flash Ignite. Picking up a Meki pendant and 2 health potions to start. So how do you think this matchup's going to go, Shelly?
Well, I will tell you that when I was first watching this match, I had to go to the League of Legends website and remind myself what York's abilities do. Because out of all the champions in the game, he's probably the one I know the least about.
It's true. I mean, he had a really big period of kind of hiding in the shadow of other champions. I mean, when he first came out, he was considered underpowered and did not really see much play. It's certainly a very fun champion to play, I will tell you that.
I should play him.
York is very fun. If anybody enjoys a spammy melee bruiser playstyle, then York is definitely for them. Once he got buffed, York is actually really powerful. In fact, the PSUP LOL team that participated in the Ivy LOL Beta Kickoff Tournament lost the game to Princeton in the round of 16, mostly because their York player was just really good.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Redline Quad 7, our Jarvan player in top lane, managed to get first blood against the York, but once that, after that occurrence, the York kind of spiraled out of control, and he's really hard to shut down late game. It also happens to be a great 1v1 laner.
Well, I'll tell you my thoughts coming into this game. I was interested to see how the sustain fight would go. I think the first game was mostly won by Cho'Gath because of the sustain. And this time, both champions have a built-in sustain. Kale's got her heal, and York's got his Lifesteal Ghoul, which I can't remember the name of.
It's interesting, too, that we have 2 champions here that are melee champions that intermittently become ranged.
Yes.
York, of course, only when he uses his abilities. Exhaust and Ignite coming out already for Kale, doing a lot of damage from Righteous Fury. Wow. EdwinMols popping his first pot. We see first pot for Kale as well going down. Kale, of course, coming out with Boots 3 pots. This is I forgot how exciting this game was. This is pretty fun.
This is definitely, probably the best game of the series. I theorize that the Exhaust Ignite was to try and get your summoner spells down, specifically Flash, because Exhaust Ignite will come up before Flash, and then you can have it again without your Flash. But you didn't Flash.
Kale's Righteous Fury at early levels is going to just give her a huge advantage over York, simply because York doesn't quite have the number of spells or the cooldowns to spam them. Also will run out of mana faster. If you Righteous Fury and you get every attack with that range on your opponent, then you're dealing more damage than they would with an equivalent amount of mana. It's very mana efficient to use Righteous Fury and get that much damage on. So that was a smart move by Hirishin to use that Exhaust Ignite now. Then. Unfortunately though, York his built-in sustain with with Omen of Famine, his E.
That's the one, is it?
Yes, Omen of Famine. Omen of Pestilence, Omen of Famine, Omen of War.
I noticed you just with the Omen of Famine and 1 health potion, you almost back to full health.
Yeah, it's really effective. You'll see actually the numbers come up, 22, 23 on each melee attack of that Omen of Famine. It heals him for the full damage that the ghoul deals. It's quite significant. It's again
quite a bit there. I gotta say.
So interesting that both champions have a long range slow between the Resolute. Resolute Smite is Galio. You remember the name of Kale's slow?
Of course. It's so foolish of you to ask me.
In fact, it's so foolish of you to ask. We'll just assume that you know and not actually bring it up.
Well, I'm sure you know.
Right, but again, it'd be foolish.
Yeah. Well, all the viewers know as well, so really...
Right, we don't insult their intelligence. We all know what Kale's slow is named.
Yeah.
So Kale's slow and Omen of Pestilence for York, giving both champions a long-range ability to slow the opponent.
That's the green ghoul. I just noticed them by color.
Good job. But the slow does things that allow you to deal more damage. For Kale, it allows you to get more hits on with Resolute Smite. With
excuse me, that's not Resolute Smite. That's Galio.
Oh shoot, the Righteous Fury.
That's it.
Anyway, and for Yorick, his slow from Moment of Pestilence allows his ghouls to attack the target more frequently. So a similar playstyle for both champions. They kind of act the same way in lane. We'll just see which one comes out on top.
So I gather from your item choice that you need the mana to continue spamming these ghouls and to continue keeping your health up with the famine.
Yes. Also, Meki Pendant builds into a particularly useful item for Yorick. One of the biggest items used for Yorick.
You're just taunting each other.
Both players big backing here.
This is crazy.
Many Yorick players buying Mana Mune. You'll actually find that I don't end up doing that.
I suspect that in most of these 1v1s, I can't really see getting tier because I'm not sure if you would ever charge it up enough to make it worthwhile. Not that it's not a great item.
I mean, it may still be even useful if you don't charge it up all the way. It's simply about the fact that you can basically get an item that says, hey, I don't have to worry about mana anymore. And for many champions like Ryze, or in this case Yorick, it can be very powerful. You just have to understand that it doesn't give you any stats except for the fact that you don't have to worry about mana anymore. So if that's a good enough reason to get it, then great.
But personally, I would take Chalice over, especially in the 1v1s. I mean, in a real game when I can build it up and make it into a better
depends. Kale does quite a bit of magic damage, but without items doesn't have much AP to actually augment that. A lot of her damage does still come from basic attack damage.
At this point,
Ghouls, of course, less effective under the tower, where the tower can get rid of them so they cannot continue their melee attacking.
But it still looks like your sustain is coming out ahead here.
Definitely, the fact that Kale got... I understand why Hirishin got boots to start. Taking the tower shot. Got boots to start, but unfortunately, having the 3 pots is great, but Kale just can't keep up with the mana of the Meki Pendant, which had a huge impact on this. Moment of Famine costs 65 mana, of a pool of 445. I don't know how much Kale's heal costs offhand, but I know it's a somewhat comparable amount of mana, and Kale's pool is similar, so the only thing really setting them apart is the mana regen. We see that Kale is now backed.
Yeah.
You see immediately that I use Omen of War for the first time this game to push the waves.
I believe I noted this when I was
Spam
watching it initially as well, and this is similar in the Cho'Gath game. As soon as you notice the other player is back, and you know that you're safe to back, you spend all of your mana, make sure it's all worthwhile, and push the wave as hard as you can. Which I think makes sense. So look, you got Chalice after knocking on me for like 5 minutes for saying Chalice is a good item.
I didn't knock on you. I was simply trying to compare it.
Completely wrong. No one should ever buy Chalice.
So comment on Kale's items here.
Well, it's sustained, but it's not going to last forever.
It's true. But I mean, the game won't last forever either.
That's true, certainly. I guess the choice of boots surprised me. I know it's...
You mean the level 2 boots?
Yes, right, the Zerker's Greaves. I don't think of Kale as an auto attack champion. Though, I mean, in this game...
well, Kale benefits greatly from attack speed.
Yeah.
She does.
And she's certainly not playing it as a support.
Yeah. No kidding. So, big exchange goes up. There's an exhausting night like we saw in the beginning of the game.
Chases you off.
Got Yorick quite low. Goes ahead and hits that E, pops a potion. Kale popping a potion as well. Down to 3 mana potions and 3 health potions. Definitely understanding the need for mana there, because that goes another pair of potions for Kale.
Yeah, why do you talk about mana potions in 1v1s versus in normal games?
You know, it's a touchy subject. Mana potions are going to be really inefficient in terms of your gold. They do so little and they cost so much. However, if you... basically, a good way to think about it is if mana is very important to you, and if gold is not important to you. So buying mana potions is kind of saying, hey, I want to win before gold's going to matter. Because I can spend all my gold on this and then not worry about the fact that it's being inefficient, because it's going to give me the short-term advantage that I needed to win the game. Especially in a champion who really needs mana to be able to do things, because Kale's not going to be able to do much damage without Righteous Fury. Not going to be able to do much healing without her heal. Kale healing. Kale is leveling, by the way, between her W and her E, right? Her Fury and her heal.
Yeah, I think...
Which is why her Q, as you can see, is
Exactly.
doing so much
It
damage.
became pretty clear when I was watching it that since I normally think of Q as basically her main nuke, that when I saw it not doing anything, I just assumed that it was hard leveling Righteous Fury instead.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually pretty common among Kale players. Kale players like to really take advantage of that attack speed build using...
Well, two ghouls going after him there.
The two ghoul combo. The two ghoul drive-by.
The 1-2 ghoul punch.
See Yorick's ult up now, although... It actually is useful in a 1v1 scenario,
Yeah,
but keep in mind if you use it and you die, you still died and you already lost.
That's a shame that. Once again,
see Kale is
looks
back.
like he's back. Hit them with everything he got, and then back. And I'd say I was very proud of myself for this cast, my first cast. As I was thinking, I was like, what item will Kale get? And I thought, well,
Hirishin, always a mannered individual, totally not a troll.
Anyway.
Coming out with this is an interesting fight.
I was thinking, it's gotta be Phyllis. It's gotta be it. And they did.
Ah,
I was like, I'm so clever.
Solving the problem that he tried to solve earlier with pet potions. Isn't that right?
Yeah, but it's certainly a more permanent solution. However,
Philistone really the only item that you can condone, only gold for 5 item that you can condone buying in a 1v1.
Yeah.
Because Heart of Gold or Cage's Pick or Avarice Blade, certainly not Avarice Blade, they're not going to do enough for you, and the gold generated is not going to pay for itself until well into the 20-minute mark. I think I mentioned that in a different cast. Yeah, exactly.
Exchanges.
Yep, both players spamming their whatever range they have.
Keep you off in most of these exchanges with Righteous Fury, but sustain brings you back.
Omen and Phantom, of course, on a very low cooldown.
Yeah,
6 seconds. Shout out to Harmony, also giving me a little bit of MR. Up to 88 MR right now. Kale, almost all of Yorick's abilities deal physical damage. Kale's armor at 58. Quite significant.
Yeah.
We have Armor Pen for Yorick at 25, so that'll definitely take out some of that.
Last hits?
Yeah, let's look at CS right now. We have 60 to 67, actually. Hirishin leading by 6.
Closer than I would have thought, and I honestly wouldn't have picked Hirishin for the lead, even though he's got the range.
But the Righteous Fury does a lot for
damage.
Oh! A lot of damage going off on Hirishin!
Can I just point out that that's 3 times we've got an Exhaust Ignite on you, and I don't think you've used your Ignite yet?
I've not used my Ignite once. And actually, that would call that a mistake. I probably should have used it at this point. I do remember in this game being frustrated by the fact that a lot of damage going off in Hirishin. Flash in with the Ignite, and the ult goes up, but the ticks from Ignite will end up taking first blood. Kale's ult at level 1 only lasting for... It actually might have been level 2. But level 1 only lasting for 3 seconds. It's kind of surprisingly short.
Yeah.
That was game 3, kind of in an unexpected turn of events.
Unless you'd seen this before.
Unless you'd seen this before.
Like we have.
It's okay.
We knew that was
look at our tent of... What is that? Anyway, so that's game 3. End of the series for EdwinMols versus Hirishin, and almost taking it 2-1. And
Very good
both players will be moving on to the quarterfinals. Double elimination bracket. Double elimination bracket. It's coming up too, as well as Chile.
Yay!
You'll be playing there, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm playing Hirishin first round.
You are. You did pretty well in the Swiss rounds. How did that go for you?
I did very well in the Swiss rounds, but the players who I was really afraid of, I didn't have to play.
Okay. So
we'll see how it goes in the tournament.
So now we have some exciting games coming up, right?
Exciting and challenging.
All right, I look forward to casting those. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.
Goodbye.
Woo.